Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Internal Rambles. This is your girl Rochelle. If you are new, welcome, and if you're returning, thank you for tuning back in. Internal Rambles is a very eclectic podcast. I talk about everything from my life, career, trending entertainment topics, music, etc. My normal episodes releases every Thursday, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. My bonus content, which could include my reality show recaps. I'm currently reviewing and recapping Married at First Sight Nashville and Ready to Love Miami. I also have the male perspective with G.O., which I do with my close friend G.O., and a lot of other random stuff that happens over here at Internal Rambles. My bonus content releases whenever I am able to record and post those episodes. Today is a very special episode. This is the season finale of the podcast. Actually, the season 2 finale of the podcast. I split the podcast up in seasons. It's just a great way for me to refresh the podcast, and it allows me to reflect on what's been working well and to add some new things to the podcast. So every 6 months you will get a new season. And so today I am going to just talk about some of the milestones and some things that have happened in season 2, what's to look forward to in season 3, and just some other random stuff. This is going to be a really all over the place, but in a good way episode. I'm going to be talking about all sort of things and just kind of reflect and celebrate that we have another season down of the podcast. Really super excited about that. You can reach Internal Rambles everywhere that you get your podcast content for the most part, but also check us out, or check me out, at the official podcast website, which is internalramblespodcast.com. All of my episodes are there, but you also can contact me, leave me a comment, leave me some questions, leave me a voicemail to be featured on the podcast in the future. Really would love to hear from you. I'm going to start this episode the way that I start every Thursday off, which is either with Rochelle's rant, something that is negative, something that has frustrated me, something that has gotten on your girl's nerves, or Rochelle's raves, something that I'm positive about, something that I'm excited about, something great that is going on in your girl's life. I have a rant and a rave today. Let's get into it. Rochelle's rant and rave. Okay, so today I had a really rough day. And I'm not really going to go into specifics, but it was just, Monica says, just one of them days. Just one of them days. Child, I had one of them days. It was just really emotionally and mentally draining. And I mean, when I say I was too through for a long time today, I was definitely too through, and I just had to when I am emotionally drained, I definitely kind of shut down, and I really just can't even, I can't say I don't function, but I definitely just can't talk. And I have to just let that emotional wave kind of pass through. I had such a rough day, but tough times don't last for long, and I just had to work through it internally, and I was able to process it later on, but in the moment, or as it was happening, or I don't even know, I can't really explain it, but I just was like, this is some BS to the max. And I have to, in the way that I have to, it's I either can lash out or I can just not lash out. It's kind of, I have to be on one. I don't want to lash out. I have to be on the other. I have to let myself be on more of an emotional side of the spectrum, because y'all don't want me lashing out. I don't want to be on the anger side of the spectrum, because that could be really bad. But woo, shawty. I was just too through and frustrated to the max, and a lot of different emotions. But I'm over it. I'm not over it, but I worked through it, and it was just one of them days. I can't even, that's it. But I'm like, I initially was supposed to record this podcast a few days earlier. I'm like, this is supposed to be a really exciting, positive day for me, celebrating another season down. I started, I've been podcasting longer than I should actually be further. I decided a little bit later to start doing seasons just so I could kind of mark and be able to say, okay, this is 6 months later, what's working, what's not. Okay, new season, continue doing this. I'm not going to do this anymore. So, but this is an exciting time for me and a positive. Like, I don't want to be Debbie Downer. This is a exciting episode. So I am in a better mood right now, but you just have those moments and you just have to work through it. And I think just that positive, working through the negativity and positive, everyone has moments, days, a day, a few days. It's important not to stay in that negativity if you can. So I have a lot going on. Not everything's peachy keen for sure. But oh man, what a day. What a rough arse day. But that's the rant. It is. I had a very rough day today, but I'm okay right now. I'm okay today. I'm okay in this moment. The rave is, this is the season 2 finale of Internal Rambles. I've been podcasting. Let me get the exact date of when I started my podcast. Okay, so my first podcast episode was actually October 15th, 2021. So this October would be 2 years of podcasting. Wow. So I've been podcasting for, I guess you can say, approximately a year and a half, maybe. That sounds extremely crazy. But yeah, so I'm really excited about that, and I've seen some growth, and the fact that I now have like an official website, and really looking forward to some things in season 3, and I have some goals, etc. So yeah, so just excited to be wrapping up season 2, and I'll talk about the podcast and what to look forward to and just kind of what has happened in season 2. And I won't make that long-winded because I don't think you want to hear necessarily about podcasting, but I want to celebrate it a little bit and move into some other things. So just that's the rave of just continuing to podcast, a year and a half of podcasting, and just really proud of that. So that's that. Okay. So season 2 of, I'm going to talk about just kind of what occurred and kind of some milestones that I hit, and then I'll get into some other stuff that I want to talk about today. So season 2 of Internal Rambles, really enjoyed the season, saw some growth. I think in season 2, that's when I started putting my episodes on YouTube. You can hit me up there as well. The audio I release on there. Internal Rambles, no space. You can search for me. That's where you can interact with me. And that has been another way that I have gotten some views, some more listens. People utilize YouTube, so that has been nice. Just another way to get listenership. And then also just the male perspective with Gio, just being able to interact and have something really, cool with my close friend. And we've been friends for, 15, 17 years. And it's just nice to, he's one of my closest friends, so just it's a way to kind of hang out with him. And he's just the coolest, but also he's really super helpful. I've been having tech issues, and he's just so smart. He's been helping me out, and just creativity wise, he brings creativity to the podcast, brings new life to the podcast, definitely has helped with listenership to the podcast. So he's just been really great and helpful to me, and definitely has helped to kind of boost the podcast. So looking forward, as long as he's willing to continue to come on, I'm looking forward to that. And also one of my goals was to have a guest. I haven't been pushing that, but I do. Well, I'll talk about that. So just being able to have a guest in the podcast, and Geo has fulfilled that. But also, my goal was to have an official website, and I didn't think that was the goal for one of my goals for season 2 as well. I didn't think I would make it. I made it down to the wire, literally. Now we have an official website for Internal Rambles, internalramblespodcast.com. All of my episodes are there. You can leave me a comment. You can leave me a question that you want me to answer. Interact with me. You can leave me a voicemail that I can play on the podcast. So just kind of, I feel like an official podcast. I see that happening. I am a podcast, but I see podcasts where people play voicemail, etc. So I'm looking forward to that aspect of the podcast. Really want that viewer interactive portion for season 3. I also hit a really cool milestone. I want to get the date. So my host site sends me all kind of analytics, and I hit my 150th podcast episode. I want to see if I can get that date. So on March 4th, I hit the milestone of publishing my 150th podcast episode, which is like crazy. Like, what have I been talking about for 150 episodes? I don't know. But with my bonus content, with my reality show recaps, along with my normal Thursday episodes, I guess I have probably done that in a year and a half. So just like these really nice milestones. And then I do have a Twitter account, and so my engagement, they will send me notifications when I'm promoting my episodes, and like I hit kind of little milestones with the engagement, with my views on there. So just trying to get the word out about the podcast, and when I get notifications that people are listening and clicking on and downloading and listening, etc., that has been super exciting. So if you're enjoying the podcast, tell your loved ones about me and have them listen as well so they can get in on this content. Really appreciate that. And then if you listen to me on Apple, leave me a review. That really helps me. And also on my website, leave me a review. That really helps me as well. I did have my unconventional book review or book club, Read with Rochelle. I did do 2 books, but it's just honestly my life is so busy, so crazy right now. I knew that I wouldn't be able to keep up with that. So if I do have any book recommendations moving forward, I would just talk about that like I do my song recommendations and my show recommendations. But I realized in season 2, it's just hard to just do everything. I don't want to spread myself too thin, and then the quality of my podcast suffers. So that's really kind of it for season 2. Moving forward to season 3, what you will be able to look forward to is just continuing with the great content, talking about my life and trending topics, music, etc. Hopefully continuing with the male perspective with Geo, and really hoping to get some additional guests. That's the main goal I'm hoping to do. And I know there's something that I can do I know what I need to do to work on that. Haven't been able to do that, but hoping to get some more guests sprinkled in on season 3. If you would like to be a guest, hit your girl up, use that contact form, and let's discuss. And maybe we can work something out. But I'm looking forward to getting some more guests. Additionally, on the podcast. So that's the main goal, I will say, for season 3 of Internal Rambles, which will start on April 20th. Next week will be the re-release of the most popular episode of season 2. So there will not be a new episode on April 13th. That will be the most popular episode of season 2. Next week, I haven't decided if I'm going to do a reality show recap. I may just take the entire week off and then double up the following week, but I haven't decided, so not sure about that. We will see. But definitely there will not be a new episode next Thursday. I will do the re-release of the most popular episode of season 2. All right, y'all. So I just want to talk about some random stuff. I said that I was going to once Ready to Love Miami wraps up, I do want to start reviewing Put a Ring on It. And I said I was going to do like a recap of the episodes, but I'm actually not going to do a formal recap. I just want to talk about the show really quickly. And then I'm just going to get right into the recap. So Put a Ring on It is actually really good this season. The doctor is really aggressive. Like, she just gets into it. And it's a change from the normal doctor. And the couples are cool. There's one couple that's already left the show. And I think it's good. I don't think that they wanted to listen. Like, I think they wanted to do their own thing. I think they were more so there for the show versus really there for the help. Because as soon as the doctor was like, you really need as soon as the doctor was given advice, they was like, no, I don't think that. I don't really think that. I want to get their names so I can actually put some names on what's really going on. So basically, the doctor called out. So there's one couple, Dunbar and Chance. The doctor called out Dunbar for being controlling because basically Dunbar was telling the guy that Chance was going out, like, you can't do this and you can't do that. And, Chance was like, that's just him being a man. That's not controlling. And then at one point, the doctor sits down with Dunbar and basically asks, like, what is this for you? Like, what's going on? And he says, stuff from my childhood. I'm scared to tell Chance. I'm struggling with depression. I don't want her to know about this. She doesn't know. And then all of a sudden they miss one of the meetings. And she's like, well, where's Dunbar and Chance? And then they say, you know what, this show is not for me. I'm super paraphrasing. I'm super fast forwarding. Basically, they leave the show. So it's like she calls them out on their stuff. And they basically couldn't handle it. And the doctor's like, you basically were crying in front of, not basically, crying in front of me, saying you've never told your partner of 2 years that you have depression, you're struggling, and now you want to leave? It was crazy. And I saw some comments about them that, like, they basically was there for the show. They're like engaged now, that their goal was to get engaged on the show, etc. I don't know. And so Chance was like, I know I need to help him, but I don't need to be on the show to help him. I'm paraphrasing. It just was like a super crazy turn of events. Then you have another couple, and that is Ricky and Catherine, who were like friends for like 10 years or something like that, and now they're dating. Ricky was previously engaged, now he's divorced, and Catherine is concerned that he still treats her kind of like the homie, like the friend versus like the girlfriend. And then also she's concerned about the boundaries that he has with his ex-wife, because there was a period of time where when the ex-wife needed a babysitter, that he would watch the kids and then stay the night at the ex-wife's house. Like, excuse me, say what? And another layer about them is too, like, they live with his like parents and their family. It's just like a weird dynamic with them. And then you have Jasha and Joya, who they're okay, but I think if I'm remembering correctly, like, Jasha wants children. No, Joya wants children, but Jasha maybe doesn't want children. I believe that's what it is. So, I don't know. They're going to be, the next episode, they're adding another couple because now Dunbar and Chance are goners. But I'm liking it. Another show I said I wasn't going to watch because of the drama that has been unfolding on social media is the SWV and XSCAPE show. Child, if that isn't, I've watched 5 shows. There is a 6th one that hasn't happened yet. If that ain't a hotmess.com/org.net, that darn Latasha Scott. If what is done in the dark will soon come to light ain't her, she has been doing not only her sister Tamika, but that group, her and her husband, and I don't know if it's more so the husband. It's just crazy because it's just crazy. It's just crazy. It's just, I mean, the husband done been stealing money, and just the fact that her sister was like, you stole $30,000, and Latasha has been saying, you know, that the Tamika is crazy, but then she pulled them receipts, and now, you know, Latasha's snotting and, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't. Boy, when Tamika finally pulled them receipts, she can't say nothing. That husband did steal that money. And there's more to it. He been taking other money. Child. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. I mean, that's all I gotta say. That show, I didn't want to watch it, but it's just crazy, and it's crazy because it's like, it's your sister and the mother. Ooh, child. I recommend it. You know, it's unfortunate, but it's interesting. But it's unfortunate. But kudos to Tamika for standing up for herself, Tamika Scott, because she's been taking a lot from, and I'm not saying she's perfect, but yeah, it's been a lot. And SWV, I love SWV. So it's an interesting show. So this is just a kind of really quick self-check-in that I kind of do periodically. I don't have a life update. Maybe I'll do it. I mean, there's nothing really going on specifically that I need to talk about, but just self-check-in, how you're doing, especially because I had a rough day today. But I've mentioned that kind of I tend to kind of hibernate, especially the pandemic really exacerbated that trait of mine. But I'm really proud of myself because the other day I realized I had not left my house in a very considerable amount of time. It was like a week. And you just kind of I work from home and hi Instacart and whatever. And the last time I left my house was just running errands with my mother. And I just was like, you need to leave the house. And there was no reason, I had nothing to do, but I forced myself to just leave the house, and I had a really good day. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go get some Starbucks. I went and got some Starbucks, went to like a favorite store of mine, didn't need anything, but the real pride moment of myself is that I went to one of my favorite stores and I didn't buy up the store. I got very few things. I just got a few things and got on up out of there, got some lunch, and got back home. And it was just a very nice day. And the favorite store of mine, I frequent there. Like, not like I'm not there all the time, but I've been going there for years. So the cashiers are very nice. They'll talk to you and just, hey, do you need anything? And it's always a very pleasant experience. Even if I haven't been there in a couple months, like, they know my goddamn face. But it's always a very good customer service experience. I've been going there for years. But it was a very nice day. So I'm just glad that also, it's just like, your car has been sitting for a week. Please go drive your car. I'm very cognizant of that too. It was a very nice day. And I just said, it's like those nice little self-care moments. It's like, I'm going to go get some Starbucks. So that was nice. That was a nice little, and the weather was very nice that day. It was like 60s, not too warm, nice breeze. So it was just a very nice day. So it's very important. Like, I didn't have anything to do. Like, there was no purpose. It's not like, oh, I have to go I have to go pay this bill, I gotta go get my oil change. No, it literally was just a nice outing. Or I have to go, like, take my mom nope, didn't have to go, nothing mandatory. It literally was just a nice day for myself. And so that was nice. That's like it's nice to work from home. But that's a downside. It's like, sometimes I really don't have to leave my house. If I don't have an appointment, if I don't have a hair appointment, if I don't have a doctor's appointment, I really could just be holed up in the house. And so I'm just very cognizant, like, girl, leave the goddamn house. Instacart, them charges be racking up. And Grubhub, I haven't Grubhub, I don't know, in a minute. But yeah, just like that self-care, I was really proud of myself, because, child, if I ain't gotta leave the house, sometimes I really won't. So that was nice. And I was really kind of proud of myself, because I tend to hibernate, and this weather, the fluctuating of like winter and then spring, like temperatures, I'd be like, But I am excited. Spring is kind of sort of upon us, but not fully. But I am excited for just like when I don't have to wear winter coats. So that's that. And I do have an upcoming event in 2 weeks, something like that. Less than 2 weeks I'm excited about. So I'm looking forward to that. I think it's important to plan events that you're looking forward to, even if it's something really microscopic. Yeah, that's that. What else do I have to talk about? This may be a short podcast. I don't have much to talk about today. By the way, this is how I know today really drained me, because I'm like, I can just pull stuff out of my Ruta or my Tuta. I really don't have much to talk about. But honestly, this is really to wrap up season 2. But that's how I know, like, I'm very drained from today. And that's okay. And I'm okay with it today. But that's how I know, like, today took a lot. I am okay, but I am definitely drained. Today was a day, and I'm glad I got through it. I am definitely on the upside of today, and I'm glad to be here with y'all. That's how I know, and I'm all about the realist. That's how I know I had a day today. But I actually am okay. I'm not trying to convince myself. I am like, I made it through. Like, yo. But I just don't have, honestly, this is to wrap it up. You know what? This is what I'm going to do. I want to talk about, I meant to do this. I know I can pull this out, because I wanted to mention what some of so next week, like I said, is going to be the most popular episode of season 2, what I did want to talk about what some of my favorite episodes of season 2 was. So I will say two of my favorite episodes of season 2 was the last episode of the male perspective, and that was, let me get the title without it playing it. Hold on. Don't you play. Okay. The Male Perspective with G.O., which was titled Top 5 Hip Hop Artists, John Morant, Maintaining Friendships. So the description is, on today's episode with special guest G.O., we are discussing our top 5 dead or alive hip hop artists, maintaining friendships over the years, and the John Morant situation. What I loved about that episode was me and Gio did not discuss what that episode was going to be beforehand, and that was the first time we ever did that. Usually we discuss what the topic is going to be before we record. So for that particular episode, we decided, you bring a topic, I'll bring a topic, we just gonna talk about it. So we did not know, kind of similar, like I mentioned, to the Smartless podcast, where one of the hosts bring a guest and nobody knows who the guest is and they just have to go with it. So that was just so dope. And I love talking about music, so that was fun. But then also I just love the organicness of it, where we didn't know what we were talking about from the other person. So that was a really, really great episode. And then also I just loved our first episode because it was the first time that we recorded, and just the first time having a guest, and just us trying it out. And and that episode was the Male Perspective with G.O., discussing friendship and relationships. That was the first one. So we just kind of discussed how we became friends, etc., and just our perspectives on relationships. So that, I believe that was our first one. Pretty sure that was the first one. Back October 15th, 2022. Yep, that was, So 5 months ago. That was right the beginning of season 2. So those were my 2 favorite ones. I love all of our episodes together, but shout out to Gio. One of my other favorite episodes of season 2 was titled Rambling Topics, Fine Delivery Men, Self-Care, Eminem Inducted, and that was released on November 10th, 2022. And in the description box it states, why y'all ain't tell me FedEx be hiring models to be drivers? And that was just a funny episode, just talking about an experience I had with a fine delivery man. So that was actually kind of a funny episode, and one of my favorite ones. And then also I love my year in review episodes that was released 3 months ago, 2022 year in review and 2023 goals. And then also another episode I loved was my favorite books. I love my top 5 episodes. Anytime I do a top 5 of my favorite whatevers, I love those. And then another one, if I just can add one more, is my episode that's called Shoot Your Shot, Sis. Go ahead and shoot your shot. Probably all my episodes are but I'm just gonna leave just those. So check those out. And then again, like I said, the most popular episode will release that you all listen to. The most listened to episode will re-release next week. Now, I will say, interestingly enough, there were a few episodes that they all were kind of around the same amount. Actually, one of the most recent episodes was actually a contender, but I was like, I'm not re-releasing an episode that I just did a few weeks ago. So anyways, but nonetheless, the most popular episode will re-release next week, and then the following week we will get season 3, episode 1. I may do a life update, not sure what that will be. Who knows? That's 2 weeks away. But nonetheless, you will get season 3, episode 1, 2 weeks from now. Now let's get into what I always do on Thursdays, which is the song of the podcast. Let me get you a song to listen to for today. Okay, so this is challenging because this song, I only know that you can listen to it on YouTube. It's not on iTunes, but I'm sorry. I actually have the CD, but I don't listen to it on CD. I listen to it on YouTube. It's by Silk. I don't know why Silk doesn't have this on YouTube. It was released, but it's not on YouTube. It's not on iTunes. And the song is called More. And it's from their Silk Time album, which was it was a very short album. I can't remember how many songs was on there. But I've just been having that in heavy rotation. I'm gonna need them to get it together and put it on iTunes. But anyways, the song is called More, and it's by Silk. And then I can't leave out of here on the season 2 finale of Internal Rambles without a Jodeci song, and I was just listening to this song today, and that is Cry For You from their second album, Diary of a Mad Band. Jodeci, Cry For You. Oh, how I love Jodeci. So, Silk, More, and Jodeci, Cry For You. Okay? Okay. And there you have it. This is the season 2 finale of Internal Rambles. What a ride I have took y'all on. Thank you for rocking with me. And I really appreciate all the listens, all the downloads. Tell everybody about your girl. Check out the official site, internalramblespodcast.com. Interact with me. Leave me some questions. Leave me a voicemail. And you too can be on a future episode of Internal Rambles. I really appreciate all of you listen. I keep it real around here. Take care of yourself. Do what you need to do for you. Support yourself. Self-care is the best care. And if you are able to, take care of each other. And I will be back better than ever. Season 3. I hope to keep this great and exciting for you all. If you have some suggestions, some topics you want me to cover, please let your girl know. And I'm here for you. Take care of yourself, and until next episode, this is your girl, Rochelle.